we have to basically go on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, so when you guys arrive there, he kind of he brings you into the alleyway, and you guys walk in, and you can see the buildings are kind of tall. They're probably, you know, like 3 or 4 stories from the walkway and alleyway that you're in, and it's kind of it's a dead end alleyway. You can see down at the end there's like a wall that comes up along the sides of the alleyway. They're the buildings, which are probably like 2 kind of back-to-back warehouses. There's no windows except for very, very high up on the warehouses themselves. From the entrance of the alleyway back out onto the street, it's a pretty wide street, pretty major kind of thoroughfare through the area. But there is a factory kind of across the street, and you can see like there's probably off to the left there's a gatehouse area with like a arm raising gate to let vehicles in and out. And you can see that there's, as far as like people and activity going on, there's trucks that are coming in and out occasionally from that gate there. You can see like a couple of factory workers maybe like having some, not death sticks, but e-cigs or whatever over on the corner, like by where the chain link fence is. And you can see there's people like walking up and down. Most of them look like kind of blue collar workers. They look similar to and it's various. There's aliens and humans, and it's pretty diverse in this particular area. Yeah, so what do you guys do? There's a couple people walking to and from. You can see it's kind of a typical day when you get to the crime scene, in air quotes.
So, I'm sorry, what did our case say happened exactly? That these masked men showed up?
Yeah, so he was paid a sum of money to drive in a speeder this individual to come down this roadway and then make a turn into this alleyway, where he said that, 4 individuals kind of like came out of the shadows. They pulled the individual from the vehicle. They put like a bag over his head, and there was a small struggle while they kind of like wrangled him down. They loaded him up into another speeder, and then they took off. And then Arcade left shortly afterwards. The individuals appeared to be dressed in kind of all black. They were wearing like the equivalent of ski masks, right? They all appeared human. To be fair, you know, aliens are pretty identifiable. They all appeared human, and they were armed. They had like blasters at their sides, but that's all that RK could see and relate to you. They weren't wearing any distinguishing markings or anything like that.
So Kim will just start looking around, see if he can see anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to check if there's like anything of sorts of cameras on the back of the warehouses.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, you can absolutely look for that for sure. There's definitely a place where there might be.
I would like to kind of reverse engineer where they might have hidden, like see if, like, because you said they appeared out of the shadows.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd like to kind of see if I can figure out where they would have hidden. They were going to appear out of the shadows, because you said it was like an alleyway that led to a busy street.
It's like so there's like a busy street, and then it leads into the alleyway, and the alleyway is actually a dead end. It goes down for maybe like 15, 20 meters, and then it dead ends right there.
I know this is Star Wars, but still a bunch of people wearing masks.
Yeah, they would stand out for sure.
Stand out if they weren't hiding, so there had to be somewhere they were hiding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Master of hiding.
Well, yeah, that seems appropriate for Mouse to figure out where other people are hiding. Cool. So we'll start with you, Mouse, to see if you can identify that. I think the appropriate... Well, I think there's a couple of ways you can go here. You can go with like a simple perception check just to try and figure it out. But I think that like a survival or streetwise check would be appropriate here for you to like find the best hiding spot, right? And then see if there's any indication that they were hiding there.
Or like I was also thinking like Mouse could approach it like, what if I was going to hide? Like,
Yeah.
she could make like a stealth check to sort of find the best hiding place. Would that be something?
Sure,
Or
I think that I can argue. I think a stealth check is fine. I think I'm going to increase the difficulty though, because
Okay.
it's there's not as much of a guarantee of
think.
that.
Or maybe a stealth check based on your cunning.
Unfortunately, well, I guess we could just make a manual roll. Yeah,
You could do
Or-
streetwise as well. Streetwise is kind of like
yeah.
that.
Streetwise would be an easier check for sure.
Would skullduggery count in that field, or
Skullduggery is specifically for like
Sleight of hand. type
yeah,
things,
sleight of
right?
hand, getting into things, that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
so,
I think
Break-ins.
I'll try the stealth because I'm a little better at stealth than I am at streetwise.
Okay. So it's gonna be a hard check, and I'm adding a black dice just because you're unfamiliar with the area. You're trying to find something out of nothing, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Hopefully she makes nothing out of something. Hey! Oh!
So you fail. You don't hide. You don't find a decent hiding spot. But what do you think that triumph represents?
Perhaps I don't find the hiding spot, but I do find another clue.
Yeah. So what? Well, actually, I guess it would be up to me to give you what kind of clue here. So I think, Mouse, as you're kind of walking around, since you failed a stealth roll, you're stepping and you step and you hear the crunching of glass.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of look down and like look under your shoe, and you can see that you've stepped on like a small like vial almost. And you kind of kneel, like you crouch down to look at it, and you can see that it's uncapped, but based on your knowledge of things, this looks like it might have been used to contain some sort of illicit substance. But it's kind of like you stepped on it and shattered and broke all over the ground at this point.
Okay.
But it does seem important because while you are in an industrial area, I think that you kind of like look around, and this isn't the place that someone would be carrying this kind of thing commonly. This is more blue collar, hard worker, industrial portion. This isn't. You're not in the slums, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll grab the shards of the vial.
Yeah, like the couple of pieces that are big enough to.
Or the biggest pieces. Yeah.
Okay. Do you show that to anybody?
I don't know if Jax is here, but
yeah,
I'll
probably by this point, Jax has arrived.
Yeah.
Welcome, friends. I have returned.
Hey, Jax,
Hi.
look what I found. And I showed Jax this vial of this like illicit
broken vial.
I just, from his point of view, just come with a almost broken.
I didn't mean to break it.
So Jax, I assume you head over there and take a look, right?
I take a look.
You don't even need to make a roll. This is something that is literally right up your alley. You're pretty certain that this is a spice container.
It only happened once, guys.
Yeah.
It happened to everybody.
You're certain.
I was in college. I was experimenting.
You're certain enough to say that this was a spice container.
What are you guys talking about?
Drugs and rock and roll, baby.
Exactly.
So I look at the vial from Mouse. Any specific kind of spice or just spices?
Yeah, so spice? You know that generally spice, when it's dealt in a couple of different various ways. The ones that deal in vials are usually like heated up and either taken intravenously or used to lace like death sticks or something like that. Or used to snort, right? If it's in a crystalline substance.
But this is
liquid,
right?
You know that yeah, this looks like a liquid type. You know that on the cap to the vials is typically where it says the like the distributor or the marking or the indicator of like the strain or who's dealing it or something like that. But the cap is nowhere to be seen. So it might take a roll from somebody to help find where the cap is.
So, I'll go to Mouse and say, show me where you found this.
And I'll lead him to it.
Yeah.
and then I guess I'll make a perception.
You want to make a perception check? Sure.
I'm really good at perception, guys.
I can help.
So
I have perception skills as well.
Also, so lucky.
If
yeah, so you're trying to find something small here. So I'm gonna make it a hard check, but I was gonna add a black dice, but I don't need to because you know exactly what you're looking for, Jax. And since Mouse has also identified this, I'll add a blue dice for you, so you can get that help there. But it is a hard check because you're trying to find this tiny little thing in this big ass alley.
I don't
know when you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
So
sake.
reduce some strain. That's good though. You were
Yeah, I'm reducing. That's good. I have 4 strain out of my 10 at the moment. So
yeah, you were getting up there.
About that.
Yeah, you were
But
getting
seriously, 2 yellow dice. 2.
up there.
It's just RNG. That's how
I
it goes.
know.
Perception.
So yeah, you begin like combing the area, and Mouse, you're kind of like helping. Mouse, you probably like hold up a couple things, like, is this it? No, okay. You like toss it back on the ground. And you hold up another thing. Is this it? No, okay. You toss it back on the ground. But unfortunately, you don't find the cap that you're looking. So that's Jackson and Mouse doing something to kind of further the investigation here. What about the rest of the 3 of you? What do you do in this situation?
Sorry,
No, go ahead.
I jumped the gun a bit before I just randomly started looking for a little cap. I kind of said, "Oh, like this is a spice vial." And I informed people what it was, and I said, "I'm gonna look for the cap." And then Mouse was like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you."
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
So everybody's aware that it was a spice vial. So
All
what
right,
about the Kin Dasher
Finn's looking
Z?
for that now.
Kin, you're gonna roll a perception check here.
Yep. I have second perception, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay. I will. Everybody else is looking for it. I'll leave the blue dice on there, but it is hard. So go ahead and roll.
I'm not really looking for him. I'm looking for something else. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Hey.
So take a couple strain, Kin.
Okay.
Join the strain club.
So I think that like Jackson Mouse, you guys spend maybe 15 minutes like scouring the area. You can't find it.
Okay, I'm starting zooming in and out with my lenses. It's kind of short circuiting some of my stuff.
Yeah, there's some creaks and some sparks that fly out.
Yeah.
But eventually you're able to find it and the reason why Jackson Mouse you guys didn't find it is because this is way off in a different area. And in fact, I think it's probably more appropriate to say that instead of finding the cap for the vial that Mouse stepped on, you see another vial, off in the distance, down the alleyway a little bit, and so you direct them over there, and they're able to go over there and get it.
So is this what it looks like when it's not destroyed?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on it.
Yeah, and Jax, you know immediately. Yes, it looks like it looks empty, but it looks like somebody opened it up, poured it out, and then put the cap back on, and then maybe just the vial dropped on the ground or fell out of somebody's pocket or something. But yeah, there's a spice vial intact with the cap. The cap on the top of it has 2 letters. It has XZ, so it's kind of like this XZ.
Cool.
So it's probably an indicator of a local dealer, but obviously, and again, as I said before, this is not the area that they would be dealing in. Dealers in the industrial area would easily be routed, and
would I know
authorities would come. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody would be aware of that.
I'm gonna turn to anyone who's within earshot, and I'm gonna say, this wasn't from a drug deal. There's a high probability that one of the kidnappers dropped this. We should figure out who or what XZ is. Maybe they can lead us to some of their clients, and that will narrow our search.
Why would they be using spice right before they kidnap someone?
Junkie's a junkie, man. Crazy shit.
I mean, yeah, but it just seems kind of weird that a bunch of them are using it because there's more than one, right?
I mean, we don't know why they did what they did. They could just be looking for a ransom to get more drug money.
To be fair, they also could have been waiting here for hours.
They could also be stupid. Remember the two at the bar who just walked away when someone told them that they went the other direction? Like, people on this planet aren't wired right.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I
I
remember
guess.
that.
Big silent offense step.
Yeah. Dash will remember this. Pops up in the top left corner.
Choose your words wisely, my friend.
So, that kind of leaves Dash and Zian. What are you guys doing to
cameras? Perception?
Yeah,
for
you want to
cameras?
look at cameras. So, I don't think you need a perception to identify that there are cameras. It looks like there are. But the question I will ask you is, how do you go about obtaining information from said cameras? Like, it does look like there's a camera. So there's probably a couple of things. There's a camera that looks from the factory across the street, like in this direction. It looks like it may be like supposed to be on the gatehouse, but it definitely like clips the alleyway area. And then there's probably a camera on the warehouse, like on the outside of the warehouse, looking out into the street. There's none that look immediately down the alleyway, and that's probably why it was selected for a kidnapping location. But entrance and exit into the alleyway look like there might be a possibility there.
Well, I'm gonna go to the individual warehouses, and I'm gonna try to be reasonable with the warehouse owners, and just say, I'm guessing it would be weird out of nowhere. Can I look at your camera feed without being like law enforcement or something like that? But I'll try and get them. Actually, I think I'll go with Zion because I think he has a way with people. I'm gonna ask Zion to come with me.
Yeah, so there you go. Zian, he comes to you and he asks you if you want to go talk to the warehouse owner, see if you can look at their footage from when the incident happened.
Absolutely. I'd also like to talk to some of the employees, see if they've seen anything.
Okay.
I nod and I say we first should go and see the one where the camera looks at the entrance of the alleyway, because that's one of the most clearest. The other is just a clipped image that could possibly be seen, but I think the most visible is going to be the entrance. So we go to that warehouse first and see if there's anyone to speak with about that.
Yeah, so you go over to there's two warehouses, right? There's one on the left, one on the right of the alleyway.
Yep.
The one on the left, it appears locked. You can see like there's a digital locking code on all the doors. It appears closed up. Maybe it's not in use, and like even if you knock or move around, you don't hear or see anybody.
What about
the one on the right has I think that if you guys go up to it and knock, kind of an older woman comes out, and she looks like maybe she's in her late 40s, early 50s. She's human and walks kind of hunched over, and you can see she's got like big thick glasses on. And as you knock on the door, she opens it up and she says, "Hi, yes, what you want?"
Hello, ma'am. We're here to investigate a lead that something happened here near the alleyway, and we might suspect that one of your warehouse cameras has captured a possible crime.
Yeah, and she kind of like adjusts her glasses and looks at the two of you, recognizing immediately that you're not like the police, like you're not the Corellian police. And she like adjusts her glasses and she says, "And who are you? Some private investigator?"
What my friend means to say is a friend of ours has gone missing within the last week. He was last seen in this area. We're desperately trying to find any information we can about him. And someone has told us that he was seen in this area, and we would really appreciate it if we could see some of your security footage and maybe get a lead on where he's gone.
Okay. So you're attempting to charm this woman?
Whatever is appropriate. I'm not very good at charm, but
I'm good at charm. Maybe what has helped.
But
wait, I have to be the actual.
I could. You know what? I'm gonna do a thing.
Yeah, okay, influence all of the people.
Just the answer to everything.
Spam the influence. I love it.
All right. Let's see.
Do you want to?
Oh.
Do you want to spend it?
Can I do? I want. Can I turn that into the discipline check, or do I have to roll that at the first time together?
What do you mean? What discipline check?
The control emotion belief, because that doesn't require light side or dark side. It just requires a force point.
What were you intending to do with this roll here?
To influence their emotion to make her friendly towards us.
Okay.
Sympathetic.
I mean that's what you should spend it on if that's what your intent was with the dice here.
Yeah. So.
Apparently, but sympathetic for us to be concerned about. Friends, just
Yeah,
like,
well, it won't be sympathetic, right? Because we've determined that the black dice, the dark side influences negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like pitting, maybe, or just like, oh, their friend is gone. I'm worried for people. Something. I don't know.
Okay.
Trying to mix heads and
Yeah,
tails of this mystic force.
Yeah, I don't think I can really. I'm trying to think of a negative emotion or a neutral emotion that would be useful.
well, you
A
could,
negative emotion would be fair.
yeah,
Apathy.
you could frighten her, right? So that
Yeah.
Dash is like it probably would like Dash still makes the charm check, right? But to her, it's going to seem threatening if you kind of invoke fear.
Yeah,
here.
no, I don't really want to do that. Just so no good on that then.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Apathy,
so
apathy.
Empathy, is that a...
I said apathy.
Well,
Oh,
empathy
make her
wouldn't make
make her
her
not
more
care about
interested.
Oh, I meant
Like-
make her not care about if you do anything.
Right, like
Oh.
yeah, make her like you could make her not care about showing you or not. But I think that's going to conflict with she has a job to do, right? Like she's
Yeah.
she's here for a purpose. So
Okay.
I think the charm check would still be required. I just may like give it a boost or maybe something like that.
Yeah,
So,
so
you go first.
not spending dark side point.
Okay. All right. So Dash, you want to try and charm this woman. It's going to be hard. And I'm going to upgrade it and I'm going to spend a force. Now, the reason I upgraded it the first time is because there is a chance for catastrophic disaster here, in the sense that if she suspects you're not playing nice, she could cause a despair all by herself. And I'm spending a destiny point because this is a very important check, and it seems apt.
Yes,
Should
he is
spend a
all
point
the
as
best
well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Well-
gonna spend a voice force back
Right?
I'm gonna spend 2.
to have her at least help us with our investigation.
Yeah,
of
so
our
you
friend.
guys are going to get an upgrade on your side as well.
Well, let's see
So-
what happens.
Why don't you go ahead and roll the dice there? Roll your charm check.
Charm that old lady.
Come on, sympathy. Yeah. Woo!
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Oh,
So
triumph.
take 3
Suck at Olympus.
strain.
Strain.
Yep. Take 3 strain. You succeed, so she kind of like narrows her eyes and kind of adjusts it. What do you think that triumph is going to be for? Now, I have a suggestion here. You can take it or you can think of something else. Maybe the suggestion is that was a roll to look at the footage. Maybe the footage is going to show you something, and that can be your triumph.
Yes.
But it can be whatever you want. I just thought that was probably an appropriate one in this scenario. So
Mhm.
what do you think, Dash?
Sorry, I was distracted by my little brother. What are you talking about?
So the triumph, an option that I am giving you is you can have because that roll was just to convince her to let you in and see the footage. The triumph could be used to actually see something of value on the footage if you want.
I would like to. There was a spice mentioned, so I know. Well, actually, the thing is, I could either look at the vehicle.
I don't think you know
Or,
anything about the
maybe-
spice because you weren't there.
Well, see, the thing is, there still could be visual proof.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What do you want the triumph to be?
Hmm.
My suggestion, you don't have to take it, is because that roll was only to look at the footage. The triumph can be used to actually see something of value. Like
Take the GM hint.
Like you might be able to see a symbol on the vehicle they use, or you might be able to see like the face of somebody that's that's recognizable or something like that.
So that's why.
Okay, so that's what you want to use the triumph on?
Yes.
Okay.
Vehicle.
Okay. So the old woman kind of like she eyes you down and kind of like looks at you, and Zian, like you did like the clasp your hands together or whatever motion you made for your check.
Yeah.
And she kind of like, I think like you look at her and she looks at you and her eyes just narrow, like for a moment, like accusingly. And maybe that's what like you're like maybe I shouldn't spend that, right? And then like Dash, you come on, you're like we're just looking into this, and I think that she kind of like she narrows you down. She's like, oh, fine, whatever, and she just like opens up the door. Revealing to you like it's a warehouse, and you can see like the lights running along the top portion of it, and there's shelving units. Most of them appear kind of empty. Looks like the warehouse isn't completely full, and there's like just inside the door there's a desk with a computer sitting there, and she kind of like walks around. She's got a slight limp in her left leg. She kind of like walks around and goes around to the other side of the hollow screen. And she begins like typing and pulling up some things. And she's like, "What date did you want again? A week ago?"
Yes, a week ago.
She's typing on her computer. She's like, yes, here it is. The camera on the alleyway, yes? I can say that I wasn't here that day. We were currently closed, but... And then she like puts something on her computer. You see the hollow image pulls up. And you see like basically a recording with that like vaguely like there's the lines running through it that we see in the hollow video recordings. And we see it flicker, and it runs through, and you guys watch it for a few minutes, and we see a vehicle with RK and another individual in the back. Kind of it's like an enclosed kind of like luxury type vehicle. It pulls into the alleyway from the street, and it fast forwards a little bit, and we see like maybe 5-10 minutes later, we see a speeder kind of rocket out, and she pauses the image accurately right there.
Cut out.
Well, now we get to do whatever we want, right?
Space God, no.
Hold on.
Jordan, you cut out.
Yes, I'm aware.
Jordan plus.
Jesus. Hold on, guys. We're gonna get there. It looks like Discord is having a shit fit. Give us a second. It's going to do this here in a second. Just a moment. I apologize to all of those watching and see up here. Having some issues with the internet, it appears today. It's fine. Not a big deal. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna get through it. We're going to succeed. Connection issues. Hopefully that will send at some point. Internet. Okay. Well, having some serious issues with internet right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here. We'll go ahead and take our break, and we'll be back with part 3 in just a moment. stand by.